knowledge of knowledge is power in this case. This is how you can have an American that's fat, depressed, anxious, and doesn't even know why. Your brain is down-regulating its dopamine more and more and more. It's treating me so well. It's giving me the life I want. It's impossible to be successful if you do not have this under control. Brother, because you're abusing your dopamine. You just like living, brother. You enjoy life. Are you starting to see why some people seem like they can just do it all, do all the habits, go to the gym, eat right? It's not because they're Superman. Brother! Welcome back to another one. This topic, I really can't give it justice. I cannot explain how important it is that we understand this topic. Now, I remember as a child seeing the crackheads and the obese adults, and then seeing the successful adults with a good physique, with a good woman, with a good house, charisma, and thinking to myself, how could two people be on such polar opposites? One person their whole life just being thrown away and the other person just, top of the mountain, right? How does that happen? And as I grew older and understood this concept, I understood why. Topic of today's video is my handwriting got better overnight. Holy shit. All right, dopamine. Now, what is dopamine? Dopamine is the molecule of pursuit, drive, motivation, and seeking. It's the reason we have buildings and iPhones and families and societies, and the reason we really have anything that takes effort. Without dopamine, we'd be on our asses all day. Now, we all have different amount of dopamine floating through our systems at all time, right? We have different baselines, meaning our average amount of dopamine out throughout the day, and different spikes and different troughs. And dopamine is always going like this, no matter what, right? That's how it works. Once it goes up, it's gotta come back down. Now, I'm gonna use this chart in a second, but there's two ways you can get your dopamine. Number one is gonna be through pleasureful activities. Activities that feel good, right? Don't really take much effort. Think junk food, scrolling, porn, masturbation, really any drug of choice, video games, being lazy. All those things I stated feel good in the moment and they don't really take effort to do. You can just pull out your phone and get it, right? Or you can just ingest it, right? They do not take effort, but they are pleasureful in the moment. Now, there's another type of dopamine which you get from effort. Think cold showers, going to the gym, right? Meditating, doing something difficult you've never done before, talking to strangers. This type of dopamine takes effort and you get the reward afterwards, after the effort is complete. Now, one type of dopamine is the reason there's the crackheads and the obese people. The other type of dopamine is the reason there's some people who seem like they have everything figured out. All areas of their life are good. So when you do this instant gratification, this quick pleasures, these quick hits, right? We're using the chart now. Let's say, let me grab a different marker. Let's take Joe, for example, right? This is Joe's baseline, meaning he wakes up, he's not super motivated, he's not super depressed. This is his average amount of dopamine, the amount of his dopamine returns to whenever he engages in one of the effortful or the non-effortful pleasurable activities. So Joe wakes up and he scrolls some social media. Social media is pleasurable, it feels good, it stimulates our brain, right? And so what you get is you get a dopamine spike with every scroll. So he scrolls for 15 minutes, gets a dopamine spike. Feel all that dopamine flood the brain, but right after he stops scrolling, he's like, oh, why did I do that? I wasted my time. I feel less creative, less motivated now. And neurologically, he feels that way because dopamine has to come down again. Right now, he is just as far below baseline as he was when he stimulated the dopamine. Right? And for this example, we'll say he doesn't go and have junk food for breakfast and then smoke a cigarette and have a coffee. Right? He lets his baseline, he lets his dopamine return to baseline. Right? That is one cycle of dopamine. Right, that's a simple cycle. Now, here's another option. Down here, Joe feels lower, more towards the depressed end and less towards the motivated end. Right? Joe doesn't like feeling here. So Joe's like, how do I get out? Well, how did you get out in the past? Well, sugary cereal and orange juice for breakfast. Right? Yummy. Now, he eats it. Oh, that's firing so much dopamine. Feels so good, so pleasurable. Gets a little higher, right? Right above baseline. He feels better now. He feels better than he normally does. He just had a bunch of sugar. But as we know, once you eat sugar, your dopamine is gonna drop just as far as it spikes. So now Joe's down here. Joe feels like crap. He just started his day terribly, right? But guess what? He needs to get back up to here, right? So how does he do it? How about some coffee? Right back to baseline, all right? Now he's feeling normal again, right? The sugar's gone, the post-scrolling depression's gone, right? Now he's back to baseline, feels good. 30 minutes go by, 40 minutes go by, an hour goes by. Uh-oh, 2 p.m. comes along, midday crash. Joe feels like trash, right? Terrible. But it's okay. He's getting home. He's getting home from work. You know, all he had to do is drive, stay awake on the wheel, because when he gets home, he can shoot himself back up to here, right? All he has to do is go on the internet, pick his favorite video of another man having sex with another woman, and beat his meat! And guess what? Whee! Quick spike. Nah, this one shoots up. And the prolactin spikes, which is actually inversely related with dopamine on top of the dopamine spike. And so now he is down here. Depressed, unmotivated, feels like shit, got these little spikes of pleasure. Hey, he got his junk food in the morning, he's got his scrolling, he got his caffeine, he got his masturbation. But guess what? Now Joe is chilling down here, right? Now, time for sleep after another shit meal. So during sleep, he's repairing, right? Coming back to normal. But guess what? Now, his baseline is lower, right? He wakes up feeling worse. And so, since he feels worse, what's the only thing he can think of to get back to here? Is more porn, is more scrolling, is more drugs, is more shit food. Now, this is how you can have an American that's fat, depressed, anxious, lonely, and doesn't even know why. Why can't I go to the gym? Why can't I do the hard things? Brother, because you're abusing your dopamine. How do you expect yourself to be motivated to go to the gym when all your brain knows is instant gratification, seeking the easiest option? Because the gym isn't the easiest option, brother. It's not. Neither is eating the right food, or is taking the cold shower, or is starting the business, or is talking to the chick, or is doing anything that's needed to be done to become a high quality man, right? None of it's easy. And so if you train your brain to take the instant gratification, the easy route every time, not only are you telling yourself, this is the route I take, your brain is down-regulating its dopamine to seek out the easy thing. So when it feels uncomfortable, seek the comfort, right? It's impossible to be successful if you do not have this under control. Now, let's remake this graph. Now this time, Joe's gonna be blue. Now this Joe, he's on the method, so he knows how dopamine works and he knows he can't abuse it if he wants to have a good life. So, Joe wakes up, and he goes on a light walk, right? Gets some sunlight in the eyes, gets some movement. Not really that hard, right? But it's not instant gratification. Takes a little bit of effort, right? You're moving your body. So he gets a nice big dopamine increase, prolonged, smooth, no drop below, right? Now, Joe gets back from the walk and he takes his morning shower. And since Joe's not a bitch, he doesn't take it warm. He takes it cold, right? And so during the cold shower, when he's uncomfortable and it's effortful and it's freezing, and he's like, you get a quick drop below baseline just for a second, right? Because we chose the effort, but then, pew, spike above and a nice prolonged increase of dopamine, right? This is your now this is Joe's natural caffeine. And so after his cold shower, he goes to the gym, right? Again, uncomfortable in the moment while he's working out, and then pew! Wow, Joe feels great, and it's just the morning, right? Now he goes throughout his day, goes to work, eats healthy foods, right? I'm gonna make this longer. Eats healthy foods, right? Maybe he does have a 2 p.m. little crash, but at the same time, it looks maybe like this instead of that, right? And then the rest of his day is like that, right? Until he goes to bed. Now, with Joe, once he has a day like this, progressively, his baseline will start to increase. And so he'll start to wake up more motivated, more driven, more confident, ready to attack the day, and all of these things become easier. Are you starting to see why some people seem like they can just do it all, do all the habits, go to the gym, eat right? It's not because they're Superman, right? It's because they fix this. They have this working for them instead of against them. So as you start to do difficult things, things that take effort, your dopamine will increase, making it easier to do hard things, right? You wake up, want to go and tackle them. The things that used to be hard will now be easy. You can do even harder things that push you even further towards your goals, right? And so you have to get your dopamine from effort. That is what you get it from. And you literally can teach your brain to treat the effort as a reward, right? When I'm in the gym, I'm like, let's go. I know how good this is for me. I know how good I'm gonna feel after. I know how it's raising my baseline. So I don't think to myself, oh, it's even though this is hard, this is bad. I think this is hard, this is good, right? I've reprogrammed my mind to see the hard things as good, right? I'm not different than any of you guys. I don't wake up at 6, get all my habits done, go to the gym, eat right, show up for my clients, make content, and do it every single day because I'm just like an anomaly. No, my baseline of dopamine is so much higher. My brain loves it. My brain is like, yes, difficulty. Yes, discipline. More and more and more. It's treating me so well. It's giving me the life I want. And the person who abuses their dopamine sees like, oh no, discomfort. My dopamine is too low to give the effort required to get the benefit. All they see is this part. They don't see this part. Their brain doesn't associate the effort with the prolonged increase. They associate the effort with the immediate dip, right? With the difficulty. So they're so wired to see spikes Where's the next spike I can get? Because their brain doesn't tell them that, hey, once you get this spike, you're going to feel like trash after. The brain tells them once you get this spike, you're going to feel good for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe even less, right? They're hijacking their brain. Now, biologically, we evolved to seek comfort, right? And so if you are the red Joe, if you are the Joe who seeks the spikes and troughs, it's not your fault, brother, right? You were never taught these things. You're biologically, you're like, okay, what's the most comfortable thing? This feels good. Why am I depressed now? I just did what I wanted in the moment. Back in the day, we didn't have social media. We didn't have air conditioning. We didn't have grocery stores. When we were uncomfortable, man, we needed to go hunt, right? We needed to go build a fire, build a house, right? Protect our family, right? But guess what? Nowadays, in our day and age, when we have all those things, when we have all the comforts, everything we need, and now we have things specifically designed to hijack that comfort system and lead us to a depressing, dependent life, we have to understand that we have to go against our biological desire for comfort if we want to achieve things in this life, if we don't want to be here. And the thing is, once you get up here, you get pleasure from more things in life, right? There's an expansion of the things you derive joy and pleasure from, right? When you're down here, you don't get joy from the simple things. Your dopamine is so low, you just need an instant quick hit. You need an instant spike. Here, you don't need spikes. You can just be present in the moment. You just like living, brother. You enjoy life. And you want to go spread your energy, your knowledge, yourself out into the world. You want to achieve, accomplish, share when you are up here, right? And so the simplest way to make sure you're up here is seek your dopamine from effort. Do not seek it from pleasure. It's that simple, right? It's just that simple. If you do not understand how this works, use this to your advantage. Knowledge of knowledge is power in this case. Knowing why you feel like trash when you're quitting a drug. So instead of thinking, hey, it's the lack of the drug that's doing this to me, you say, no, it's the drug that did this to me in the first place. Right? It's a drug that made me spike all the way down here to where I need the drug just to feel normal again. That is addiction, brother, right? And so every time you feel uncomfortable as well, understand, hey, I'm gonna get pleasure after. This is where I need to be, right? Discomfort, effort is right where you need to be, brother. Get uncomfortable, raise your dopamine, share this knowledge with others. I love you, boys! Until next time. I feel like I spit a lot in this one. I don't know what happened, man. I don't have teeth whiteners or gum or anything, but anyways, follow me on Insta for more game. Love you.